Woke does not mean diversity, and diversity does not mean woke. We gotta get this straight. Today, I'll explain the difference using the outstanding sitcom Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Woke is an overused word, and it's kind of hard to define. Really, it comes down to empty, tokenized pandering. It can be easier to spot when you realize it's not about the group being represented, it's about making the presenter look virtuous. It's not genuine. That's why I try to refer to it as performative diversity.
Do you mean woke?
I did mean woke, but it's grammatically incoherent.
Woke just rolls off the tongue better. Let me know in the comments what show you would choose, but when I think of diversity done right, I always go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This show is really interesting because on paper it looks woke as hell, but the difference comes down to intention and execution. Okay, think about it. The guys in charge are both black. One of them is gay. Two of the detectives are Latina, one of whom is bi. The white guys are all idiots who provide most of the comic relief. If you'd never heard of this show and you just read some basic character descriptions, you'd probably think, wow, another bullshit woke fest. But you'd be wrong, because actual writers worked on this show instead of activist children. Even though the show is very diverse, I would not classify it as woke. Why is that? There are three main reasons I think this show is set apart from the all too common woke garbage we're seeing. The first of which is that it knows its job, which is to be a sitcom. Look, the writers are clearly talented, and they wrote a great comedy with interesting characters. Period. It's crazy that I have to consider that to be such an achievement. No character is off limits, no ideology is spared, every single character is used effectively to achieve the goal, which is comedy.
Well, I know what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving.
And it is successful. This show is literally laugh out loud funny. You can also tell the intentions based on the marketing. When this show came out, the marketing was basically, hey, remember The Odd Couple? Check out this funny cop sitcom. It's got that zany Andy Samberg. You love him, right? Contrast that with Disney's Strange Worlds or the all-female Ghostbusters or the new remake of The Little Mermaid. These things were marketed purely on their superficial qualities.
Are you really playing the gay card right now?
Yes, Queen.
You can also tell the intentions are good when you look at the characters because they are not defined by their skin or sex or sexual preference. These characters are fleshed out and well written and happen to have varying shades of skin. This is beneficial because it helps to break up the shots and it makes the show more visually appealing. Why do you think I cut away from my face so much? Nobody wants to watch a show with the exact same white guy on screen the entire time. The cast also gives the writers a little bit of built-in cultural and gender references to deepen the characters. But this is important. They season the characters with race and gender. It's not the only ingredient. Race and gender should be like bay leaves, which do affect the flavor. Fight me.
Apparently that's a trigger for me.
These characters have clear motivations, strengths, and weaknesses, and those qualities are used to tell the show's story. The qualities don't change on the spot. Characters don't get warped like an Instagram model's poorly photoshopped ass so the writers can grandstand and signal. Take a look at these characters. Captain Holt is gay, but his character arc is also about breaking out of his robotic shell and falling in love with his team after learning to trust them. Later on, it becomes about balancing his ambition and loyalty to the police force with his loyalty to that team. He's not Captain Tony Wink, who gaily gays his way into the precinct each day and queerly discusses his gay lifestyle and constantly references the oppression he faces daily because of the damn straight people. He also isn't Blackson Blackman.
I see.
Who is black.
Yes.
And blackly blacks throughout his black day.
Yes, I get it.
Doing black things.
Yes, I'm telling you, I understand the lesson.
Because he's black.
All right, we're done here.
Amy is Latina. Is it Latinx? Latinx? What am I supposed to be saying? But this is a minor detail for her character. You know, like the rest of us normal human beings who don't introduce ourselves with stereotypes about our race. Her arc is getting over her perfectionism and anxiety. Rosa turns out to be bisexual, but that reveal is only part of the process of opening up her tough exterior to trust the people around her and stop being hyper independent. Jake is, yes, a dumb white guy, but he's lovable and still a great detective despite his ego and need for validation. His arc is one of maturing and being a team player and dealing with his obvious daddy issues. Gina Gina is,
The human form of the 100 emoji.
yeah, enough said. Terry is black, but his muscles are generally the joke, and they play on the juxtaposition of his tough guy look with his gentle personality as he tries to be a dad, not only of his literal children, but also the goofy detectives that are under his command. There was only one episode I can think of where they tried to use Terry to do a racial message. It was the most contrived, horrible episode.
You got stopped for being black. Get woke, Scully.
So you see, you've got real writers writing really good characters, and they don't use those characters to try to preach to their audience. Look, this is closely related to knowing your job, but it's more than that. Preaching to your audience combines the sins of flattening your characters into caricatures and also betraying your audience. It also results in hackneyed writing. It's a betrayal because I came to your show for entertainment, not a sermon. And it's also just bad television.
His character's name is Memphis Reigns. I'm so sorry.
Usually the message is jammed into the audience's face, and the characters have to be contorted beyond recognition to deliver the writer's ham-fisted message.
I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
That's how you end up with a show full of flat, unlikable characters. With few exceptions, real people don't act like these Hollywood writers think. If Jussie Smollett's description of his attack is anything to go on, some of these city bubble people have never actually met a real person. Another really good example of what to do is the recent Enola Holmes 2. A diversity swap happens and social commentary is delivered, but in a really natural and well done way that actually enhances the story. There are plenty of examples. Put yours in the comments. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine really shines for me. Probably I just love Peacock sitcoms. The point is, there is no excuse for shoehorning in diversity at the expense of quality just so you can feel good about yourself. Not when shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine are around to show you how it's done. Speaking of Peacock shows, in the very near future, we're going to be talking about why The Office is the most successful socially progressive show on television. Let me know what show you would pick for that title. We can do a video on that as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.